Hello, hello. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well. Let me know when you come on. Make sure to say hello. I'm Teresa with Teresa Renee Art. And my screen is like, there's, it's very bright, I guess, because it's a bright day behind me. So sorry about my clarity here. Hope you guys are doing great. Today we're going to be talking about wax and antique paste. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Sue. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Hi, Mel. Hi, Christina. I know. Hi, Cindy. It has been a minute. I took last week to catch up on some stuff. So, it's very busy over here with, believe it or not, I'm working on fall designs. We have to work a season or two in advance, you guys. So it's just a little nuts. Hi, Rennie. Hi, Sandy. To make sure we meet all our deadlines and get you papers on time. Hello, Elizabeth. Hi, you guys. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back this week, but then the week after Easter week, we're going to be on vacation again. So let's see, will I be back here? I will be here on Saturday, but then the week after, so next week I'll be here, but then the following 2 weeks after I will not. It'll be I think Nancy and either Terry or Yvette. I'm not sure who's covering. So anyway, but we'll continue as normal. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday to everybody. I have missed you. Wax pastes are some of my favorite Pentart products. They are very, very versatile. I have to say, wax pastes are probably one of the first introductions that I had to mixed media type products. Hi, Dina. How are you? How are you? All right, you guys. So wax paste, we have all kinds and colors, and we're going to take a look at as many as possible today and go through them. So without further ado, why don't we turn the camera down and see what we get? So, hope you guys can see that okay. I have my array over here of all my wax paste, and hopefully that view is okay for y'all. What I am planning to do is I'm actually going to paint these black. I'm going to paint on black on one side and white on the other. Because I want to show you the differences in the colors. So these wax and antique paste, they actually behave a little bit differently depending on the color that they're put up against. So we usually use black or a dark color because it helps with the visibility. And I want to, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll do white on one and black on another. So I want to show you the differences in the colors, and I want to show you side by side. So I think I'm just going to do one side white and then one side, one card white and then one card black. So I'm just using acrylic paint here. Good morning, Rima. How are you? There are 3 different types of waxy type paint pastes or products. The first one is a wax paste, and the second one is an antique paste. And then within the wax paste, there's also one that is a chameleon, and we'll talk about the differences between all 3 of them. There is a little bit of overlap in some of the colors. Like, for example, the gold. You might have a question about which gold do I use. So we will go over that as well. It just really depends on the look that you're after. So there's my white cards. Now let's do some black cards. So yeah, it just depends on the look that you're after, really. I generally, when I use these products, they do work best if I'm kind of like going for full coverage. They do tend to work best against the black surface or a darker surface. So usually what you'll see if I'm planning to use a wax paste when I'm doing a mixed media, you'll see me paint either the whole piece black or like dark brown or something so that they show up better. But we'll go over the whole thing. The wax pastes have a beeswax base, and they do take a little while to cure. On all of these, you can either use your finger or perhaps a brush that you don't care about. Good morning, Jill. Or you can use a good brush and then use a solvent. Use the solvent to clean it. I personally can't tolerate the smell of solvents, so I buy really inexpensive brushes from Hobby Lobby that I treat like disposable brushes. Or I use my finger because it will clean up from your finger with soap and water. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so if this is your first Pentart 101, a couple of housekeeping rules that I will ask of everyone. Please wait until the end to ask your questions. What I will do is I will reread the question, and then I will answer it on camera. So just for the benefit of those who are watching the replays, because these are going to be saved for prosperity, so that somebody who's watching 6 months from now may have the same question. So I'll repeat the question and I'll answer it. Please let me answer them. And then save them to the end. Please keep your questions on topic about the products that we are covering. If you have questions about other products, your retailers can answer them. They have all had this training. Last year, we did this in our retailers group, and we went through pretty much the same demonstrations that I'm showing you now. So any unrelated questions you can ask your retailer. Okay, let's see. I have a couple that I need to fix here. I got little paint splatters, so hold on a second. And then I'm just gonna blow dry these, and then we'll get started. These are just little cards, you guys, that I got on Amazon. They're little wooden blanks, and I bought like a box full. I used the heck out of these. All right, let me dry these, and we'll get started. I will say too, a lot of you, if you watch my Tuesday and Thursday sessions, most of you know that I tend to use a lot of black resin from Alumilite. And the reason that I do that is because it sort of acts like a shortcut for me, that I can apply wax paste or metallic paints directly on the mold without priming it first. Because if I were to use white resin, I would probably prime it with black gesso first. So by using black resin, it's kind of a shortcut. We're almost done here. All right, we're almost done here. So you guys, this afternoon, my my daughters are in a variety show. It's like a dinner theater thing at church. So we were there last night practicing, and of course I had to volunteer to help set up and all that fun stuff. So it's all, you know, we always have something going on. So it's like a St. Patty's Day themed singing and dancing and stuff like that. So okay, you guys, so let's get started. I've got my black cards and I have my white cards. So the first thing I want to show you is the wax paste colors. We're going to take a look. I'm actually going to show you all of them. So we're going to take a look at fire gold first, and we're going to look at how it responds to black and white. So this one is a beautiful color. I'm going to show you the bottom of them. That's kind of like an orangey red. So we'll do a little bit over here. So that's fire gold. And then let's do a little bit over here so you can see the difference. It just gets a lot more, let's see, it gets a lot more lost, I guess, on a white background versus a dark background. So hopefully you guys can see the side-by-side difference here. All right, so let's that's fire gold. Let's take a look at red. One thing I want to point out about red is it says it's red, but it's really not very red. This is what it looks like inside. And let's see. So that's the red. It's not pink and it's not orange, but it's not like a deep red color either. So that's what the red looks like. Hey, Rennie, I didn't go live this week. They were usually on my page at Teresa Renee Art, but I did not go live this week. But you can usually follow me on my page or the Decoupage Mixed Media Inspirations group. All right, so I'm just going to put the ones that I've done over here. And save myself room on the card for all of them. All right, so next, I was trying to kind of go in a rainbow. I don't know how well that's going to turn out. Let me put these out of the way. All right, so next up, I'm going to do brass. So let's look at brass. This one is a nice one. And then brass. So yeah, you're going to get the most color saturation with black. There's brass. And then if you were doing this at home, you know, take a little Sharpie. I think it's good if you have all these colors. It's a good idea to do a little card like this so you will kind of have an example that you can work from. And you could label all your samples. All right, this one is honey gold. This one is actually a fan favorite. A lot of people love the honey gold. I love the honey gold also. And here's the honey gold on white. Go side by side. Let's see. There's the honey gold. Okay. That's honey gold. So yeah, I just wanted to swatch all of these out for y'all so you can see. And then next up, this is a fun color. This one is yellow. So this one is often overlooked, and it's sort of a cross between honey gold and regular gold. So it's right there in the middle. It is a fun color, and I have used this one before. I like to mix this in sometimes when I'm doing rust. This one is yellow. So that's a fun one. There's the yellow. That would be pretty on like sunflowers or something if you have a sunflower mold. That would be beautiful. All right. So that's yellow. My hands are going to be so fun after this. All right, gold. Let's look at gold. Of course, you can tell I use my gold a lot. Always reaching for the gold. So here's the gold. And here's the gold on the white. So which do you guys like better, the black or the white? Can you see what I'm talking about? All right, and then let's go with green next. This one is called turtle green. It's a very lovely, this one doesn't get enough love in my opinion either. Turtle green. Turtle green. Write down the colors you want, yeah. All right, so let's switch over here to, this one is just called green. Green. So this is a nice warm green. And I still have some gold on my finger. So this one definitely has, it looks like it does have a little bit of gold in it. So this one is kind of interesting. It's almost like a chameleon color. Look how different that one shows up against the black versus the white. This is the green color. You can definitely see more of the gold in it on the black card than the, and I am going to label these. So that's why I'm sort of putting my waxes in order that I did them so that I can go back and label them. All right, next up we have turquoise. So we'll go ahead and switch to the other side of the card. So the turquoise, That is a very pretty color. That's the turquoise. Judy, you have all of them? These come in the glass jars still, which a lot of people prefer the glass. There's another brand that does them in the tubes, but a lot of people do prefer the glass. These jars are just easier to get out. All right, so next up we have a blue. So there's the blue. Got a whole rainbow of colors here. So the blue kind of looks very pastel on the white card. And then we actually have two purples. So there's this one, this is a magenta. It's not that much different from the purple color. All right, let's look at the magenta. It's sort of a pinkish. So that it's like a purpley pink. That's magenta. They're going to take about 24 to 48 hours to cure. A lot of times people ask me about sealing these types of things. And one thing Nancy and I were talking about this because we do get tons and tons of questions about when do you seal your project? And what we sort of decided was that we think probably a lot of you are very used to a particular paint brand where you like sealing is so necessary because it's a water reactivated product. I think it's DIY paint that does that. Most of our products are not water reactivated, so we don't get as hung up on sealing things as probably some of you are used to. So usually what we would do is we would look at, like, if you're coating something with a wax paste, this wax paste will cure, and you don't need to seal it after that because it's going to harden and it will become like a final layer. You wouldn't use another wax product over it because then it's going to be more susceptible to rubbing off. If you absolutely have to or want to seal it, you probably want to wait about a week once it fully hardens, and then you could use any kind of sealer. Okay, but you don't need to. This is usually we look at the wax as the final step. So if you felt strongly about sealing the paint or sealing, your project ahead of time, what I would do is seal it before I use my wax paste. Okay, so that's sort of our philosophy when it comes to sealing your mixed media projects. And keep in mind, most of these are mixed media. They're not furniture, so they're not going to be handled like extensively. They're going to be like hanging on your wall or something like that. This is the purple, so it is pretty similar, as you can see, to the magenta. Slight variation in color there. That's the purple. So yeah, I generally don't either, Sue, but we do get tons and tons of questions about it. And people really want to, apparently. So we're like, yeah, if you have to, but keep in mind that if you seal over this, you're going to sort of dull down that metallic effect as well. So it's just not necessary. All right, so next up, let's look at my finger, you guys. Let's look at the rose gold. This is also a fan favorite. Rose gold. So pretty. A lot of these are going to have just different like sometimes the texture of them is going to feel different depending on what they're using for the pigmentation, even though they're the same base. Yeah. All right, so these are the chameleons, so I'll save that. I have 3 more colors to go through. Let's look at silver. This is the silver wax paste. So silver. And then let's look at graphite finally. Graphite is a fun color too. Graphite. All right, so there you go. There's all our colors. We do have another one. We have black. This one is a wax paste. It's not an antique paste. It's black wax paste. It is not metallic. And it's not like Rub and Buff where the black is going to give complete coverage. It's more like a black, I would say it's probably more like a black antiquing gel. Like I would use this. So see how transparent it is. I would use this like as a finishing, sort of a distressing thing, almost like the umber. So the umber paste is an antique paste. The black paste is a wax paste, but I would treat this almost like an antiquing paste. I would use it the same way as I would use this umber, except I probably wouldn't put this one over fine line. All right, so that is the whole swatch, you guys, for the metallic wax paste. Okay. Yeah, like a highlighter or like maybe like a furniture wax or something. Okay, so we'll move that off to the side. Let's take a look at these chameleons, you guys. There are a few different chameleons. There are a few different colored chameleons. And I don't have all of them in my stash, but I do have the blue and green because I think those are kind of neat and I want to show them to you. There's an apricot and a violet, and I think there might be a couple other colors as well. The chameleons are really fun because they have like color shifting in them. And it's almost like the same effect as like if you've used our chrome powders. Let's see. So you can see there's like an iridescence to them that shows up against the black surface. So this is the blue. And it sort of shifts to like a purplish. Let's look at that though on a white card. So if you do it on a white card, that's kind of the effect of the chameleon. You're really not going to get anything. Okay. So this is another reason why we say to put these products over a darker color, because see, in this case, you can't even see. The chameleon doesn't do anything, only on the black surface. So let's like take a look at the green. So it is a very beautiful effect. That's the green. And then I probably don't even need to show you, but it's the same. Nothing's happening on the white. All right. So those are the chameleons. I have two more chameleons. I have a white gold and a sparkling silver. Now these are under the chameleon category, but they don't necessarily have the same properties as the what's it called? Colored ones. So white gold, that's very pretty. It's a very beautiful look. This one you can see more of on the color card, on the white card. You can see more of it, but it's still not really showing up. All right, and then next up, let's take a look. This is one of my personal favorites. This is sparkling silver. I love, love, love this one, and I sometimes will use this over different paste after they've cured to give a final touch of sparkle. Very, very shimmery. Lots of sparkle. Very high mica content in this one. So this one I love for, like, you kind of create a little bit of bling to it. It's very shimmery and very sparkly. Yeah, so that one is one of my favorites. And this one you can actually see the mica. You can see the sparkles on the white card, but there's no color. Okay, so pretty big difference between the chameleons and the regular paste on the white card, right? All right, so let's take a look now at the antique paste. And I'm going to drink some coffee here. I did bring my coffee this morning. I think so too. All right, so antique paste. These are awesome. They're kind of, most of them have either bitumen or orange oil in them, and it'll say what it's got. So the gold has orange oil. This one has bitumen. It's really just an oily base. These are much better suited. The antique paste are much better suited for like your evidencing the cracks in your fine line, because they're going to wipe away easier. These do not wipe away as easy with a dry cloth. So in order to remove it from the rest of your project, you need to dip a rag in some solvent to wipe it away. So these are not as well suited. Any of these are not as well suited for fine line cracks, but the antique paste are. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This is called Antique Copper. And I'm going to show you a couple of side-by-sides as well. So let's take a look at the Antique Copper. So if I wanted a red, like a deep red color, this is the one I would probably choose. Let's hold this up against the red wax paste. So this is the red wax paste, and this is the antique copper antique paste on the right. So it's a lot more red, I think, than the actual red wax paste. So this is what I would choose for a red. I always try to tell people that when they buy the red. I'm like, but you never know. So at Christmas time, I actually use this one a lot. All right, let's go on. This one is antique gold, and I like this one. So let's compare this to the regular. Let's just compare this to the gold wax paste. So it's just a lot more distressed. It does truly look like a vintage color. This one is the antique gold. And I guess I should do this on the white card too. So let's do this is the antique gold on the white card. This is the antique gold on the black card. So they sort of do the same thing. They don't show up as well on the white as they do the black. Okay, let's take a look now at the gold. So this is what I wanted to show you side by side against the wax paste gold. It's a lot less bright. So this one is more dull, more vintage looking, not as bright and metallic as this one. It's still metallic, but nowhere near as shiny or bright as the wax paste one. So it depends, you know, sometimes people ask me which one they should use, and I say, well, it depends on the look that you're after. So I do want to compare these two side by side. So these are both gold. This is the wax paste gold. This is the antique paste gold. And you can see the difference there. Okay, so these are a lot more muted, more vintage looking. And then let's take a look at the silver one, and we'll look at that one side by side too. So here's silver. I could barely, the silver barely even shows up on the white at all. Just looks dirty. So here's the silver wax paste versus the antique paste. Yeah, a lot of people try to use the wax paste on their crackle, and they wonder why it doesn't work out that great. It's because you can't wipe it. You can't wipe it away as easily with a dry cloth. Always, if you're using any of these products to evidence your cracks, always use a dry cloth. Do not use a baby wipe to wipe it away. The reason being is when you seal it, there's a moisturizer inside the baby wipe, so it prevents your piece from getting completely dry. All of the layers have to be completely dry before you do the next one, and so the moisturizers in this can actually cause your varnish to fail. Ask me how I know that. All right, so next up, let's use the brown, the umber. This is everyone's favorite for aging. You're not going to really be able to, there's no metallic in it, but it is a deep brown. You're not going to be able to see it show up on the black card. This is probably the one exception where it is going to show up better on the white card because it's not metallic. This is not metallic. And then here's the white paste. So white. This is another one that I like this one a lot for sort of a finish touch when you want to age something differently. You know, sometimes you want to age it with white instead of dark. So I do use this one a lot too. So that's pretty much the complete range of colors and, you know, things like that. When would you use the wax paste? Well, we use this when we want something like it can be sort of a finishing buffing piece, wax. But a lot of times we'll use this. You also use this with chrome powders, like to to dip your finger into and then use the chrome powders with. But you can also use it to help wipe away problems. So like if I didn't want all of this here, the wax paste is going to help me remove areas that I don't want. So see how it sort of picks it up, and you can correct mistakes with the wax paste. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else. So I want to show you, I'm going to save these for my class. We're having a class in September. Let's show you now like how I might use some of these on some molds. Let's just use this one. This is a Christmas tree mold. I'm going to get a little brush. A couple of little disposable brushes here. So you can use these like paint. You can color things with them. They don't always have to be like highlighters. You can actually use them like paints. So if I wanted to paint these leaves green, I could use it just like a paint. And so see, it leaves those details behind really well. And you can also layer them. So I'll come back and layer the tops of these, maybe with some gold or sparkling silver. So, and again, this is just black resin. I haven't primed it or anything. It's just Alumilite black resin. And it's going to stick right on there and it'll cure in a few days. Right now it's pretty soft. Oops. Okay, so for mixed media, a lot of times, you know, you'll see artists just use waxes. Good morning, Luan. How are you? So I'm going to use the red, the antique copper antique paste, because I told you that I think that's a better red than the red wax paste. So I'm using those for the berries. So yes, you can paint with these as well. Okay. And it just gives, you know, a pretty and subtle and keeps the integrity of those details. Now, if I wanted to layer this and add some gold over the top, I could certainly do that. And I'm just going to do that with my finger. So I can come in and take a little bit of gold and layer that right over the top as well to highlight some things. Okay, so you can layer these as well. It's usually better to sort of let them cure, dry a day or in between layering. Trying to think if there's anything else in here. Do you guys have any questions? Any feedback, questions, or anything? Let's take a look at, and I'll answer questions while I'm going here. Let's take a look at the chameleon blue, and let's do this snowflake in the chameleon blue so I can show that to you. So you can see right away those colors starting to pop out. Like this one will actually use a few colors in it. Let's use the chameleon blue. Let's use the turquoise. And then we'll finish it with sparkling silver. Okay, so there's the chameleon blue on that one. Let's put a little bit of turquoise in here. So I'm just kind of going over the top with turquoise and show you how you might layer these to get some different colors. So there's the turquoise. And then let's add a little bit of silver. And I need to probably clean some of this up because there's a little too much down in there. So we'll get a little bit of silver and we'll hit a couple spots with silver. Not too much, just enough to bring out a couple more. This is just regular silver wax paste. So there's silver. And now finally we'll do a little bit of sparkling silver. Yes, any dark color. Any dark color. All right, so the sparkling silver, you're not going to be able to see this as well as I can, but the sparkling silver is just adding a ton of mica kind of sparkle to it to make it look very snowflakey. So it's you can use these like paints and you can use them, you can layer them for very quick, like it would have taken me probably quite a while to achieve this with paint. So this is an easy way to color your molds quickly. Okay. So I guess I must be feeling Christmas because I chose Christmas leaves and I chose a snowflake. All right. So now let's open it up. Any questions, anything else that you want to see? This is all a demo. This is not I didn't complete any project, but if you want to see any of these other colors on a mold, I'll be happy to do that. Let me just show you like the gold by itself on a mold, because sometimes we just use like trim details. So if I take the gold and I put it on a piece of trim, what would that look like? So I do this one quite a bit too. Like sometimes I don't even paint the mold for trim. I'm just going to come in, leave it black, and then apply some gold wax paste to it for a piece of trim. Okay, so we do that a lot too. All right, so how do you seal the wax? Holly, so we did cover that. You don't seal the wax. You don't need to seal the wax. It will cure on its own. It should be the last step that you do. If you want to seal the project before applying wax, that's totally fine. Seal it before you apply the wax. Okay, now, any other questions? Is it okay if I put down a transparent wax first if I want to be able to wipe it back? Yeah, it depends, Lynn. So yes, in general, that's fine. And it will help you control sort of the stream. You don't necessarily need to, though. And I wouldn't ever use the transparent wax with fine line crackle. Don't ever use transparent wax with fine line crackle, because that solvent-based sealer is very important, and this is going to prevent it from sealing properly. Clever Cook says, I'm getting into using Pentart products. After you apply the wax, you don't have to do anything else, right? Correct. You don't need a top coat. You do not need a top coat. If you want to use a top coat, however, you need to wait about a week for it to fully cure. Do you apply with a brush? You can apply with a brush. You can apply with your fingers. If you use brushes, the way to clean this is with the Pentart solvent. It's like a turpentine. So you would clean your brushes with that, or use disposable brushes. Mel Carter says, what is the shelf life of these waxes? Okay, so I've been carrying Pentart for about 5-6 years. This was probably the original jar of gold wax paste that I think this is the original jar, and it's still perfectly fine. So, you know, these are going to last a little bit longer than paints because of all the oil in them. So as long as you seal them properly, you should be fine. There's not like a set date, Mel. Does the wax protect against water? Well, Betty, not really. I mean, you know, if you're using this for a mixed media project, you're probably not going to be getting much water on it. So it's not meant to be a protectant. It's meant to be decorative, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. See if I missed any finger or brush, work in sections. And how do you seal the wax? I think I got them all. Wipe it back. Okay, so I think I got all the questions. Are there any other questions, you guys? All right. Not waterproof or weather. It's more of a decorative, correct. All right, you guys. So if there aren't any more questions, we're going to wrap it up for today. And thank you for joining me. I'm not sure. So next week, I'm not positive what our class is next week, you guys. But we will be posting it here this week so you can see. I will be live again on Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be live on my page. We'll be doing a project, so you can catch me there. And I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you have a great weekend. We will see you back next week. And I hope you guys take care. All right. Bye-bye.